Most people think they know how to buy a home. You save some money, you scroll through Zillow, you call an agent, boom, homeowner, right? But then you actually start the process and end up overwhelmed, stressed, or worse, stuck with a decision that you regret. And let's be real, nobody wants a $5 regret, let alone a $500,000 one. So in this video, I'm breaking down the 5 biggest myths about buying a home that could save you a ton of time, a ton of money, and some serious headaches. Myth number 1 is that you need 20% down. Listen, if you've been waiting to stack $100,000 before you can buy, I've got great news for you. You do not need 20% down. In fact, many buyers in Fort Lauderdale are putting down 3 or 5%, and sometimes, depending on the situation or the loan program, 0%. Do you need to have money saved? Of course, but the outdated idea that you have to have 20% down is a complete myth. Don't let that stop you from exploring your options. And when I say explore your options, I really mean it. There's no harm whatsoever in chatting with a lender to see what kind of buying power you have in your current situation. No one's gonna force you to buy a home, but the extra knowledge you gain from that conversation could make you a homeowner a bit quicker than you had originally thought. Myth number 2 is that you can figure it out as you go. This is where a lot of smart people get blindsided. Buying a home is not like buying a car. There's deadlines, legal documents, negotiations, inspections, loan conditions, contingencies, paperwork, and all of it moves really fast. Now, even if you are winging it, you'll be okay if you have a good agent. They won't put you in a position where you're overpaying or missing a critical step, but if you don't at least have an understanding of the process before going through it, you'll likely make it a lot more stressful on yourself. Having a plan and a guide makes all the difference. You don't need to be an expert, but you do need to have an idea of what's around the corner. Myth number 3 is that the asking price is what you pay. Nope. In this market, the asking price is just the starting point of a strategy. Some homes are underpriced to attract offers, some are overpriced and sit for a very long time. Some might go for $50,000 over asking with the right buyer pool. So what you need to look at is days on market, nearby comps, seller motivation, and competing offers. The price you offer should be based on data and not emotions. Again, this is where an agent steps in and makes sure that you're not overpaying because let's be real, you're not going to be the one running comps and calling up the listing agent to figure out what the seller's motivation is and if there's any competing offers. That's something that we're going to do. Myth 4 is that the agent is there just to unlock doors. If that's all you think an agent does, then you're working with the wrong one. A great agent is going to help you avoid buying the wrong house, something that doesn't fit your needs, spots any red flags potentially before the inspector does, protects you and negotiates for you, and probably one of the most important things, manages every moving piece from contract to close and honestly before the contract. And not only does the agent manage that, they do it in a non-emotional state. This is important because it's likely that you as the buyer have heightened levels of stress, anxiety, and other emotions. You want someone in your corner during this that has been there before and already knows what to expect. Myth 5 is that once you're under contract, it's smooth sailing. Now, I wish this were true, but real talk, this is where most of the work starts. You still need to get through inspections, appraisals, the loan approval, figure out insurance, and get through all the title work. Any one of those things can delay or potentially derail the entire deal. The key, again, is having a team that handles problems before they become problems. That's the difference between a stressful closing and an extremely smooth one. So now you know the 5 myths that tend to trip buyers up. If you want my specific help with buying a home here in the South Florida area, all my contact details are in the description of this video. See you in the next one.